This is a ReeTV MiniDoc. Kids who kill. Are they a product of their environment after years of systematic sexual, physical and mental abuse, or are they simply born killers? Children 12 years and younger who commit murder are rare, but it does happen. This mini-series, Killer Kids, will look at some of the most publicised cases of children 12 years and younger who have committed murder. Curtis Jones, age 12. Curtis Jones and his sister Catherine have an infamous record to their names. At the time of their trial, they were the youngest people ever to be charged and convicted of murder in the United States. In 1999, at just 12 and 13, they murdered their father's girlfriend, Nicole Spates. As reason for their crime, Catherine and Curtis noted that they were being abused by a family member, and when Spates didn't believe them, they planned to kill her, their father, and the abuser. This story is corroborated by social services who spotted signs of abuse but never took steps to remove the abuser from the home. After killing Spates, Catherine and Curtis became too nervous to kill the others. They were given 18-year sentences and were released in 2015 after spending 16 years in prison.
Catherine Jones was only 13 and her brother Curtis 12 when they shot and killed Nicole Spates in 1999. The plan was to kill Spates as well as two family members. The reason? The youngsters were being sexually abused by one of those family members. Child welfare workers found evidence of abuse at least twice, and yet the abuser was allowed to remain in the same home with them. The brother and sister, the youngest at the time to be charged as adults with murder in the country, pled out and were sentenced to 18 years in prison. They had to grow up behind bars.
At one point I was just so happy to be away. And I know that sounds really, really messed up, but there was just some point where I was just away from all that and I was by myself and I was safe. And I wish it could have happened without hurting somebody else. And I think that's my biggest regret. When they said that they would take us out of the house, I denied it. I said, no, never mind. I don't want to push through with this, even though, in the report, they said there were indicators of abuse. And my brother told me he believed me. He said, I know it's true because it's happened to me too.
It all led up to the events on January 6, 1999, a night that became all too real for the siblings when they shot and killed their father's girlfriend, 29-year-old Nicole Spates.
He was in the kitchen and I was sitting at the table. I already knew it was fixing to happen. We had already talked about it. And she was sitting at the other dining room table. And he shot her in the chest. And she tried to grab the phone and I went and took the phone. And I took it to the back room and I came back. And I can't say how many more times he fired the gun. But I know after maybe the last two bullets, I shot out the patio window. I actually took the fingerprints off the gun and wiped it down. And I told my brother that he got hysterical. He had an emotional breakdown because, once again, this is reality now. This isn't some idea that's in our head anymore. This is reality. And he freaked out. He had an emotional breakdown, and, I was trying to calm him down, and we ended up leaving the house.
The two had been in contact until recently, but Curtis's new detention facility does not allow them to correspond because they are co-defendants in the case.
We're best friends. Nobody understands what you go through in here but somebody else that's in here. And I think that's the worst thing he could do to me right now.
Police, attorneys, and newspapers reported the children killed Spates because they were jealous of attention their father was giving to her. But documents depict a family mired in violence and unspeakable acts. The agency that would become the Department of Children and Family Services visited the family 3 times over a 5-year period, and despite documenting signs of abuse, nothing was done.
Sometimes, however, even horror stories have somewhat happy endings, and Catherine Jones, who is due to be released from prison in July, may actually live happily ever after. She found her Prince Charming, or rather, he found her, while reading my story from 2009 while aboard the aircraft carrier, the USS Enterprise. The two fell in love and married 2 years ago.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this content and want to see more, pretty please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Peace! You've been watching a ReeTV MiniDoc.